Hey guys, welcome to Baking and Books. My name is Lexi and I'm an amateur baker who loves to read. So each week I post videos of myself attempting to bake something new while also talking about a book that I have recently read or really love. Listen, I know that I said I was going to start baking new things, but I did. I baked 2 new things in a row. I baked the Stalin bread and the gingerbread cookies. So I really feel like I earned a week that might be a little bit easier. So this week we're making hot chocolate cupcakes. I forgot the little marshmallows. Just, look, it was a whole thing. It's been a whole long weekend, and I wasn't even sure I could squeeze this in today, so you're going to have to forgive me. They're not going to be cute little marshmallows when all this is said and done, but the recipe seems like it could be really delicious, so I'm excited to try it. And I know cupcakes are something I do really often and something I consider to be more of a specialty, but I've never done hot chocolate cupcakes before, and I'm interested to see how that's going to turn out. We're also going to be talking about the 5th book in the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series, The Conference of the Birds. I found out by the end of this book that there are 6. And so we are almost done with this series, and it's been a really fun journey, and so I'm excited to get into this one with you guys today. The other thing I love about hot chocolate is that it's going to be more holiday and cozy. It's finally getting cold here in Texas, so it should be a really fun cupcake to go into the holiday season. So let's get started. Okay, so as always, let's start with a synopsis. So where we left off was Miss Peregrine has essentially rescued everybody from the really horrible guys in New York and all the different like gangs and stuff that were going on there. And a lot of people got hurt in the process, specifically Jacob. And Jacob is left feeling pretty hurt by everybody's anger at all of this. And he's worried about Noor because she's still back there. And so he decides to break free of the clutches of Miss Peregrine yet again and go back to New York to find Noor. And he finds out that Horatio and H rescued Noor already, and but unfortunately H got really badly hurt, and as he dies he lets his hollow Horatio eat his eyes, and so Horatio is able to speak to them and give them the location of like this really secret loop where Noor can be taken and be safe. So now that seems to be Jacob's mission as we head into this 5th book. He really wants to make sure that Noor gets somewhere safe. And so he's going to take her to V, who was like another one of his grandfather and H's partners in all of this stuff. And he's going to try to get her to that loop where he knows she'll be safe. And of course, it's not quite that easy. There's plenty of drama along the way. And, of course, more help from his friends. But that's pretty much it as far as the synopsis goes. So if you haven't read this book and you don't want things spoiled for you, especially if you haven't started the series at all, because honestly, even just the synopsis has already spoiled that for you, then go ahead and skip forward until it says no more spoilers, and you can see how our cupcakes turned out without getting things ruined for you. If you have already read this book or you just don't care about spoilers, then go ahead and stay with me. We're going to continue into our baking and dive a little bit deeper into the book. The first thing that kind of made me upset, I would say, is that I felt like it was kind of shitty for Rowan and Hugh to sit there and say that of course they would help and we're family after treating Jacob so poorly at the end of the last book. Because let's be honest, like, I know I kind of ranted about that at the end of the last book. These people were not very good friends to him. You know, it was like as soon as they realized that Miss Peregrine was angry at them, they immediately backtracked on a lot of the things that they had said and a lot of the support that they had offered Jacob. Simply because, I mean, I assume just simply because they got in trouble and they were upset about being in trouble. So to me, it is sort of kind of rude of them to suddenly be like, how could you possibly think we wouldn't come to your rescue and we wouldn't want to help you? We're family, Jacob, come on. After treating him that way. Because honestly, if I were Jacob, and here I am, this, 16-year-old boy, I definitely would not believe that they would be on my side or that they would help me. I feel like they pretty much proved to him that they were upset and they didn't want any part of this plan anymore. So it's kind of rude of them to come back around now and be like, how could you possibly think that about us? Of course we would help you. We're your family. They weren't really acting like family not that long ago. The thing about Noor is that I'm glad she's safe. I'm glad Jacob figured out a way to do it. But it's just like as the book goes on, I get more and more worried about her. I just worry that she's too good to be true. Like, I'm just afraid that it's too easy. Because even when you think about Jacob's relationship with Emma, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. You know, not just because she's feisty and that she has like a big personality, but because of everything that was going on, because of the differences in their life, you know, they really struggled. And it's like every time you think that that might work out, it kind of turns back around and it doesn't. And so my fear is that, I don't know, I worry that Noor trusts them too easily. And I worry that she's getting too close to Jacob too fast. I worry that she's not really the kind of person she says she is, and that Jacob's going to end up being heartbroken by her in the long run. I do, however, think it's, that was a little more than half. I do think it's mature of Jacob and Emma to talk things out the way that they do. I think that that's something that not a lot of teenagers are capable of, and they both made mistakes. They both acted poorly, made some poor choices, but honestly, I'm not sad to see their relationship end. If Noor is real and she's as good as she seems to be, I would be more than happy for Jacob to be with Noor, just because she's a modern girl as well, and so she understands kind of what he's going through, and he understands exactly what she's going through, which I think is nice for them both. But I will say, regardless of what I have thought about Jacob and Emma's relationship in the past, I'm surprised, like pleasantly surprised, that they were mature enough to talk about it now that things are obviously moving along with him and Noor. I couldn't figure out if I was surprised or not that Fiona was alive. Like, part of me always kind of thought she was. But then part of me too was like, nah, you know, they're going to find out that she was in fact dead and all of this. So to find out that she's alive it's kind of a nice little surprise. And I just wasn't really sure what to think. But I am glad that she's alive. I think that it's much better for the story in the long run. I feel like I should taste this before I just like, tastes like an extra cocoa-y cupcake. All right, our first round of cupcakes is ready for the oven. Okay, forgive the video quality for just a few minutes because we are starting on the frosting and we have to make this first part over the stove. So I don't always have the best angles over the stove, but I'm trying. So I'm a little bit concerned about this frosting recipe because it calls for a half a pack of dry hot chocolate mix and heavy cream. And so that's what you're supposed to be putting together over the stove. But the last time I tried to add a dry mix like this into something was that cake I tried to do that involved coffee. And I guess I was supposed to like actually make the coffee and pour it in there, but the directions definitely didn't say that, so I just poured coffee grounds in there and it did not go well. So I'm a little bit concerned about this, but it does seem to be coming together a little bit more like it should be, I think, so we might be okay. I know this is a small complaint, and I make this a lot when it comes to these books, but it's just that they're doing so much traveling and so much going from one place to the other and having all these crazy adventures that I feel like we don't think about it often enough. Why can't there just be one normal place with showers? I mean, that's really all I'm asking. It's just one normal place. Even after all this time in Devil's Acre, they still don't have showers. They don't have running water. I mean, these people have essentially powers. Like, they have things that they can actually do and accomplish that are so different from just like regular human beings. And you're gonna tell me they can't set up an actual shower system? Drives me nuts. I'm like, they get one nice shower like the first night they're there, and then after that it's just like washing their face in the sink. And they have to boil their water before they can use it. So it's not even good water that they like drink from and cook from and all of that. And I'm just like, really? Like what is this? You know? I mean, I understand that it's like, that's the whole point of that loop, is that it's a really sucky time loop and that it's in the past, so they don't have those kind of things. But like, come on. Come on. The thing that's starting to annoy me about Jacob is that he's not really learning from his mistakes. You know, that's the thing, is that he he continues making the same mistakes. So he and Noor decide to go off and find V because they've figured out where she is, you know, they've solved the clue, and that's great. You know, that's a great thing, and we're all very proud of them, but at the same time, they don't even think to take a second to tell their other peculiar friends where they're going or what they are doing. I mean, you don't think that, you know, you might need backup at some point? You don't think that you might need other people's help figuring out other parts of this clue? I mean, this whole clue is based off of a song that she barely remembered the words to get them as far as they are now. So you don't think that you might need other people's involvement in this? This is one of those things where I'm like, Jacob is trusting so easily. And I know he has a moment in this book where he's like, I don't want to be that kind of person. I don't want to not be trusting. I don't want to, you know, not be able to rely on people. I'm going to make a choice to trust. I think that's cute. I think that's great, Jacob. But, you know, you don't know Noor that well. She's not that involved in your life. And so my concern is that here you are thinking that this is an adventure you should take without telling anybody. I mean, at least with the other peculiars, you've been in this with them now for like a year, and, you know, you've done a lot of things together. You can pretty much trust them. But with somebody like Noor, it's still very new. And I just feel like he doesn't think that through. And come on, it's like, how many times have you gotten yourself into a terrible situation because you didn't think this through and you didn't tell people what you were doing or what was on your mind? You just like went for it by yourself. Tons at this point. I mean, we're in the 5th book. It's happened tons at this point. So it's like, come on, Jacob. And of course, you know, it does end up being a mistake because even, you know, this area is incredibly dangerous and horribly filled with things that could kill them instantly. And so it would have maybe been nice, while it's good in some cases that there were just 2 of them, it would have maybe been nice to have had other people there with them to help solve the clues and come up with making sure that they were safe. And then, of course, out of nowhere, you get the bad guys. And it's like, see, if you'd have taken other people with you, you would have had other people that could have fought with you and that could have made this adventure so much better. But you didn't do that because you didn't tell anybody where you were going. Okay, I think this needs just a little bit more powdered sugar. I'm just a little worried because I don't want to mess up the consistency of my frosting, but right now it's just a little bit too runny. I feel like it needs a little bit more here. So I just feel like I'm starting to get very tired of Jacob, I think. And maybe when you read these books at a younger age, because I know these are technically young adult novels, maybe you agree with Jacob and you're like, yeah, man, you know, go out there, show him who's boss, take on the world. You know, that's cute and all, but the thing is that, like, if you continuously leave people out and you continuously think you know best, that's how you end up in really terrible situations like this. So now you've got somebody dead and you've got yourself trapped in this situation. You don't know how to get out, and honestly, nobody knows where you are. I mean, if they're lucky, their friends and Miss Peregrine will figure it out, which I'm sure they will, but like, come on, you know? All right, this is a much better consistency. It's really good. Kind of just tastes like normal frosting. Not really sure it tastes like hot chocolate. The only one is you put half the bag in there. I feel like maybe it would have been better if you put the whole thing, because it really just tastes like a more chocolatey frosting. But maybe once they go together, it'll be better. All right, if you left because of spoilers, go ahead and come back and join us. Our cupcakes went in the oven and they came out and they've cooled. We've also made our frosting. So we're ready to go, frost them and see what they taste like. I'm honestly not going to use a piping bag purposefully, because I think if this is hot chocolate, I want it to be like scooped really nicely in the middle and not like a cute little design. I feel like that's not really what we're going for. Except now I worry that my frosting is too thick. I switched over to my ice cream scoop because I think that's the way to go. Okay, the frosting is definitely expanding once it gets a hold of the cupcake, so, but I think that's okay. All right, let's go ahead and taste one. I'm gonna taste this one, but I'm gonna show you a cute one actually first. Okay, this one's pretty cute. So here you go, cute little cupcake. Some of them are trying to escape the wrapping and running into each other, but oh well. I'm gonna eat this one because it doesn't have very much icing on it, and I prefer that. Okay, so far I think we're okay. Let's see. I mean, it's good.
I don't know if I would say it tastes like hot chocolate, but I guess you could argue that hot chocolate tastes like literally just warm chocolate, right? That is essentially what it is. And these are definitely a very chocolatey cupcake. Well, I would definitely say these were a success. I do think they'd be cuter with little marshmallows on them. I definitely should have remembered the little marshmallows. I don't think it would really affect the taste that much. It's just marshmallows, but I do think that the way that they look, the color of the icing came out very like a nice hot chocolate. And so I think if you were able to put some marshmallows in there, it would look really cute that way. So I think that was my downfall. I definitely forgot to buy marshmallows, and I definitely should have. So I wouldn't say it was 100% success. I think they taste fine, but as far as the look, they would be way cuter with the little marshmallows in them. Right now, they just kind of look like a very chocolatey chocolate cupcake, which is essentially what they are, but I definitely think in the future I would want the little marshmallow. If you have any other recipes you want me to try, go ahead and throw those my way. I'm always looking for new recipes. In fact, I ended up here today because I really just could not find anything that sounded fun and interesting. I was gonna try sugar cookies with the royal icing and try decorating them really nice in different Christmas cookie shapes, and I had a whole thing with the royal icing, and so I didn't. But I'm always looking for new stuff, and recommendations make it super easy for me to know what I'm going to be doing next week. So if you have anything you want me to try, please send those my way. I do recommend this book. I mean, we're almost done with this series. We're so close. If you haven't started the series yet, I highly recommend you give it a try. If you're reading this series along with me, or you already have, I would love to hear your thoughts on the different characters and the different things I talked about, because I think as the series goes on, I'm forming some very strong opinions that we'll talk about once I've read the 6th book, but I'm really excited to get into that with you guys. So if you have read it, I would love to hear your comments. I don't own the 6th book yet. I think it's out, but I've never seen it. In fact, I didn't know it existed until I got to the end of this book. So it may be a while before we do a video on that one, but when I'm done, I will definitely give you a whole spiel of what I thought. If you have book recommendations, please don't hesitate to send those my way as well. I'm really looking forward to getting into a lot of the books that I bought recently, but I'm always looking for new recommendations. I will do my best to post videos over the holidays, but just a reminder that the holidays are coming up and it's a really crazy time. So if I miss a week or two, I'm not gone, I promise. I've actually got to figure out what I'm going to do for my 1-year anniversary, which is coming up soon in January. So I'm not gone, it's the holidays and it's really crazy. But I'll do my best to keep getting videos out there for you guys. If you had fun today, please like and subscribe. I try to be here for you every week, despite what I literally just said. And I'm always a little bit of fun and a little bit of a hot mess. So I hope that you will come and join us every single week. For those of you that do watch every week, thank you so much. You guys are the absolute best. And I really appreciate when you do throw out comments or just like a video or whatever, because it makes me feel really special to you guys, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you next time.